Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to talk about the FX original television series by the name of The Americans. I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon episode 10 titled Only You. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? So first off, I just want to say that tonight's episode was great. It's a fantastic episode. And it was a huge episode because a lot of tragic, and just like last week's episode, this episode also was very tragic and sad in its own right. But before we get to my opinions, let's talk about the plot a little bit. So pretty much, it's just, as last time, Philip and Elizabeth are they're still separated. We have Philip's character, played by Matthew Rhys. Philip is living in a hotel in town somewhere. Elizabeth is still living at home by herself, taking care of the kids because of the last episode, because of them not getting along, they're separated. And in this episode, they're still separated. I don't know if they're going to get back together anytime soon. We also have the FBI agents, as we know in last episode. Amador has died because of Philip stabbing him, and the FBI agents are just really sick of what the KGB Russian spy officers are doing. So they have made it their mission to find out who, in fact, the killer was for Amador's character. So they end up finding out that Amador's ring on his ring finger was at the scene of the crime in the trunk of the car that he was driving. So both the Russian spies are trying to find this ring, and then the FBI agents are also trying to find this ring. Well, finding this ring leads up to the finding of Gregory's gang members, because Gregory's gang members were the ones that in fact left the car at the salvage yard. So in this episode, one of the gang members actually ends up getting found in this episode. While the FBI agent, our main guy, I forget his name, but anyways, his name's Stan. Excuse me. Anyways, while Stan is interrogating him, he ends up leaking out who the actual leader of the gang member is, and we all know that that's Gregory. So Gregory is involved in this episode. This is the person that Elizabeth had an affair with Gregory for like 13 to 14 years, and Philip's character didn't even know. Well, anyways, once again, Gregory has came back into the picture. And this is mainly what the entire episode is about Gregory. And the Russian spies have planted Gregory as the killer. Gregory didn't do it, but they made him have, traces of blood, on his boots, fingerprints and all that. So they have made it look like Gregory is the killer, when in fact Gregory is not the killer. So they have given Gregory one option. Now, one option he has is he has to become a Russian spy, go to Moscow in Russia, learn the Russian accent, learn the ways of a Russian KGB officer, and pretty much in the end become a Russian. Well, of course, Gregory doesn't want to do this. Gregory, in fact, he wants him and Elizabeth to run off somewhere. He wants to go to California and just stay there and lay low. He wants to die in the United States of America. He doesn't want to go to Moscow, Russia. He doesn't think that he was meant to be. So, major spoilers coming up, just so you guys know. What ends up having to happen is there's only two options that Elizabeth's character has. She has to either kill Gregory if Gregory doesn't go to Moscow, Russia, because, if they end up finding Gregory out, Gregory might leak out that Philip and Elizabeth are in fact Russian KGB officer spies. So she has to either kill Gregory's character, or Gregory has to become a Russian, go over to Moscow, Russia, and do the whole KGB officer thing. Well, of course, Elizabeth's character goes and talks to Gregory. She tries to tell him, but Gregory, is too stubborn, too hard-headed. He doesn't want to do it. So she ends up aiming a gun at him towards the end of the episode. And during the scene also, Philip, played by Matthew Rhys, the actor, comes in the same, Gregory's house, and they're both aiming guns at him. And he tells them, that I want to die in the U.S. And at first, Matthew Rhys says, he puts a silencer on the gun, and he says, Elizabeth, you don't have to do this. I can kill him. So she puts his gun down. And right when Matthew Rhys is about to shoot, we have Gregory saying, that he wants to sort of make make justice serve. He wants to make his one last stand in the United States, because he's an American, and that's what he ends up doing. He goes out, he takes the blame for the killing, he runs out there. Probably the best scene in the Americans on FX television series so far for episode 10 titled Only You. Like I said, major spoilers coming up. Gregory actually dies in this episode. There's a huge montage scene of music, and he walks out there in slow motion. The cops see him. They know he's the killer. They think he is, but of course, Philip is actually the one who stabbed him. Anyways, they think Gregory did it, so there's a great, shootout scene. Music is playing. All these different scenes are coming into play. Not only do we have Gregory, having his last stand, sort of, getting shot, blood squirting from him, but we also have, Vlad that died, in episode or 2 back. He's also, being put in his coffin, being lowered down. Then we have, Matthew Rhys going back to his hotel, closing the door. We have, Keri Russell's character, Elizabeth, that's her name. We also have her character, taking care of her kids. So while this, music is going on, we have all these different things happening. The most crucial thing is when Gregory starts getting shot, and I just love the way the music played. He even kills a few cops as his sort of last stand. So overall, that is the main plot and the basics for the FX original television series by the name of The Americans for episode 10, titled Only You. My thoughts and opinions on this episode: this is probably the best episode I have seen in The Americans yet. I mean, it has so much heart, so much drama, so much just tragic things going on. I mean, the last episode was kind of tragic because our main characters have split and Amador died. Well, now we have another supporting character. Not only has Amador died, but Gregory has died. So we have 2 crucial supporting characters that have now died, making The Americans are sort of, when you think about it, I guess, a sort of tragic and a sort of depressing series, though it's not a bad thing. It's actually making the series better because, these characters now have something to fight for. So, Gregory's character, I liked his character a lot, but, his death, I do think, in fact, it did serve him justice the way he died, because he got to die in the way that, in fact, he wanted to die that way. So, it served his character justice. I really liked that. I really like the interaction between the FBI agent and Matthew Rhys' character in the first 10 minutes of the episode. I like the scene where Stan comes in all drunk and talking to him and says, I want to kill whoever killed what's Amador. He's like, I want to kill the killer of Amador. Well, Philip, it's sort of an ironic scene because he's saying that, and little does the FBI agent know that Philip is in fact the one who killed, his FBI agent. So that's, a very ironic scene. There was also a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of heart in this episode. And the reason I say that is because there's a scene with Gregory and Elizabeth, and Gregory is telling her, that I want to run away. He's holding her tight. It's a sort of romantic scene. I didn't expect his death to come. So, it's a really sad episode because I just didn't expect it. But it gave the series all the more life and all the more heart, and just made the show, just all the more better. I can't wait to see where The Americans is going to go. And if you guys don't know, there's only about 3 weeks left of The Americans. We got 3 episodes left, one the 17th, one the 24th, and one on May 1st. The finale will be on May 1st, so we got about 3 more weeks until The Americans ends. Anyways, next week's episode is episode 11, titled Covert War, and as always, it comes on every Wednesday night, April 17th of 2013, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock for everyone else. Anyways, once again, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I will see you guys later with more videos by Centipede Geek.